Hello and welcome back to Joy in Our Town. I'm your host, Vanessa Rose. So happy you decided to stay with us. If you just happen to be joining us today, we are very happy to be joined by Shiloh Lundahl, and he is the co-director of Arizona Family Institute as well as a licensed clinical social worker. Thank you so much for staying with us, Shiloh.
Thank you.
So nice to have you. We're speaking about youth today. He's very experienced in that himself because he has 3 little ones at home.
I do.
So he gets to live what he preaches. So that's always a good testament. So thank you so much for the first part. And for you watching at home, our second topic is modeling behaviors we want to see in our kids. We were just talking about teaching things, but teaching and living by example are 2 different things, are they not?
Yeah.
So it affects children differently. Why is modeling an important parenting skill?
Well, you know, a lot of times we try to teach our kids through words. And sometimes that can be effective, but it's so much more effective we can teach our kids through what we do. And so if we want our kids to pick up certain things, and our kids are going to pick up things whether we want them to or not, right? So leading by example, of course, is very important in getting our kids to pick up the certain values that we want them to learn, right? But I think of certain behaviors that we want our kids to learn, such as a work ethic or doing homework or something of that nature. So one example might be, you know, kids oftentimes don't like to do homework and they think it's a pain. The way that we talk about our job, the way that we talk about, you know, things that we do there can have an impact on kids. If I come home from work and I start saying things like, oh man, such an awful day today. And if my attitude about work is really negative and my kids feel that and pick that up, it's going to be very unmotivating for them to do their homework and other things like that. Because they're going to think, why do I want to, you know, do all of this work if eventually I'm just going to get a job that I hate?
Wow. So it's that living by example. They see everything. They're little sponges.
Yes.
And living by example probably also applies to relationships in the way that you interact with your spouse, with them, and creating relationships in their life. But what are some examples where modeling is really beneficial?
You know, just about any area that a kid is going to struggle with, modeling is going to be important. You know, I have a video clip that I brought in with my littlest girl, and I'm doing some modeling when it comes to brushing teeth.
Okay.
So oftentimes kids will be resistant towards brushing their teeth. So if we want a kid to pick up a good behavior, what we want to do is we want to do it with them, and we want to make it an enjoyable process, and we want there to be lots of good feelings associated with it.
Okay, very good. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that video right now.
Look, Dad.
You're doing it. Look at you do it. There you go. Okay. Look at you do it. Should I do it with you?
I do yours and you do mine.
You want? Okay, let's do it. Ready?
I do yours and I do yours.
Okay, switch.
Switch.
Ready? Go. Want to turn back? There you go.
All done.
All done?
Oh, that's so sweet. That's your little 4-year-old, right?
Yes, that's my little 4-year-old. Her name is Ashlyn.
Oh my goodness, what a cutie pie. Well, that goes to show that you can be involved, and something as simple as brushing your teeth is fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of little mundane things that parents just send their kids off to do. And one thing that we can really do in order to make it a good experience is to participate with them in doing it. Another example is with chores. You know, a lot of kids don't like to do chores. And when I was brought up, the way that chores were taught to me was, here's a task, go do it. And you know, I'm little, I'm not knowing, you know, I don't know how to do it very well, and so I go over there, I try to figure it out, I don't figure it out very well, then I feel bad, and then I just waste time until, you know, it's over, right? My wife, however, she taught me, you know, marrying her and having kids, and watching how she works with kids with regard to chores, she taught me a lot on how to make chores a lot easier. So what she'll do is she'll write down, you know, different chores that we're going to do on a Saturday morning, and then we break up into teams, and each team goes and does one of the chores. And it's a great experience because you're working alongside of your child, and you know, you work on making it an enjoyable experience, understanding or kind of lessening sometimes your expectations depending on the age of the child. But even the 4-year-old comes and she helps with cleaning the windows in the bathroom, and it's just a good experience. So if you want kids to do things that you are going to want them to do later, you need to do it when they're young, do it early on, and make it an enjoyable experience.
So do it with them and make it so it's not, and I think that goes a long way to speak about the parent's ability, because that does take patience. So how does a parent, maybe people aren't the most patient people as it is, maybe they're frustrated, maybe they're working and they come home and the last thing they want to do is have their little 5-year-old in the kitchen with them making a mess, you know. How does a parent exercise that patience? What's a good word of advice for them?
I think breathing deeply. I think that's the first thing you want to do. But you also want to look at, you know, my goal is not in getting dinner done on time the right way, and having that be my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to raise my kids, right? And I want them to have a good experience learning how to do things. So right now I have my 8-year-old working with me on doing the dishes, right? And you know, she's learning how to do it, and it's a really neat experience. But no, she doesn't do every dish correctly. But I'm there with her, and I can kind of show her. But we're there together, we're moving in sync together, and we're having a good experience doing it. So if my goal is every dish needs to look a certain way, then obviously she's not going to do it the right way because she's young and she's learning. And it can be, again, unmotivating for her to need to do it correct the first time and then feel criticized for it. So we got to have patience. We really do. We got to look forward in the future to, this is going to be good for my kids and it's going to be good for me.
So it's good then to lead example, even to live a healthy life with, as a parent, what you eat, if you exercise, if you sit in front of the TV for 6 hours a night. All the kids notice those things and they model those things.
Yeah. You know, a lot of kids have difficulties when it comes to eating, right? And there are several issues that can come up for eating. Some kids are oversensitive to textures, and it's just overwhelming for them. But average kids still, they don't like to eat certain things. They may not like eating their vegetables or something like
broccoli,
that.
all that.
Exactly. So I have found one of the most effective ways in helping kids eat their dinner, right, is we prepare a healthy meal, right, and then we take a small portion of everything, right, of the meal, like 3 different plates or whatever, the smallest portion, and then we put it on their plate. So it might look like it can fit on the size of a quarter, right, so very, very small. And then we tell them, this is your dinner. Once you're finished with it, you can have seconds of anything else that we've made for dinner. So a lot of times that can seem less overwhelming for kids because, okay, I have to eat 1 pea. I can be okay with eating 1 pea, or 1 sliver of chicken, or 1 tiny dab of mashed potatoes, right? And that can be really helpful for getting them used to eating food. So, but again, going back to modeling, if I'm super picky with the things that I eat, or if I am forceful with them in eating, a lot of times that can create, again, friction. So when I give them just a little bit, right, and I do set limits with them. This is dinner. You're welcome to have seconds of anything else as soon as you're done with that. I find that to be one of the most effective ways in helping get kids to eat.
And then also eating it yourself as a parent,
Yes.
because kids want to be like their parents. But anyways, I wish we could keep going. So many interesting things to learn, and you're just a book of knowledge, and I'm sure you are a great parent and have great kids.
Well, I try, but not all the time.
Yeah.
But I try.
Again, no family is perfect, right?
Sure.
So we all have our times. But thank you so much for being with us, Shiloh. Thank you at home for watching. Please feel free to check out his websites that have been at the bottom of the screen periodically. Thank you for watching Joy in Our Town. We'll see you next time.